yeah, yeah, yeah. You were saying that you love me, eyes looking past me, smiling in my face while your group chat blast me. Used to split plates, now I split these assets. You was trying to bleed me, I was trying to bless it. Yeah, I leveled up, made you feel so small, huh? Tried to stop my steps for I before, huh? You was in the crowd when they booed that night. Funny how the hate still paid this life. Hidden in plain sight, you was right there. Knife behind your back, fake love, blank stare. I was better off, yeah, I see that clear. Still I raise a glass for the pain we shared. Thank you for the good times, thank you for the bad. Turned every little cut to the fuel I had. You ain't in my future, but you built this fire. Hidden in plain sight, now I'm higher, yeah. You ain't clapped once when I got that Kool-Aid born on the line. You just watched me store, told me play it safe, said my dreams too loud. Now I'm booked out dates, you just blend in crowds. New crib, new keys, same old heart, same scars, new art. Different start, I forgive every time and you hope I break. Cause that pressure made diamonds and all this weight. Hidden in plain sight, you was right there. Knife behind your back, fake love, blank stare. I was better off, yeah, I see that clear. Still I raise a glass for the pain we share. Thank you for the good times, thank you for the bad. Turned every little cut to the fuel I had. You ain't in my future, but you built this fire. Hidden in plain sight, now I'm high, yeah. I don't wish you hurt, I don't wish you pain. I just keep my distance, staying in my lane. If you ever wonder how I made this climb, you were in the story, just not in the shrine. Hey, hidden in plain sight, hey, you was right there. Hey, knife behind your back, fake love, blank stare. Hey, I was better off, yeah, I see that clear. Hey, still I raise a glass for the pain we share. Thank you for the good times, thank you for the bad. Turned every little cut to the fuel I had. You ain't in my future, but you built this fire. Hidden in plain sight, now I'm higher.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Hidden in Plain Sight is presented by O.T.D. Productions for informational and commentary purposes only. The content you're about to see is based on publicly available information, ongoing reports, and alleged claims related to an active investigation. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and are protected commentary, analysis, and discussion under applicable free speech and fair use laws. We encourage all viewers to conduct their own research and approach the program with critical thinking and respect for due process. This case will discuss topics where viewer discretion is advised. This episode may include descriptions of alleged events that some audiences may find sensitive or disturbing. All individuals discussed are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. By viewing this content, you acknowledge and agree that all rights are reserved by O.T.D. Productions. All content featured in this program is the exclusive intellectual property of O.T.D. Productions, LLC. This broadcast, including all audio, video, visuals, commentary, and original material, is protected under applicable copyright laws. Unauthorized use, reproduction, or repurposing of any part of this content in any form is strictly prohibited without prior written consent from O.T.D. Productions, LLC. Any violation of these rights may result in legal action.
"21-year-old David Anthony Burke, virally known as David D4VD, is currently sitting in a Los Angeles County jail on 3 charges: first-degree murder with special circumstances, continuous SA of a child under the age of 14, and the mutilation of human remains regarding the disappearance and unfortunate death of late Elsinore teenager Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Wow. My name is Jazz. This is Hidden in Plain Sight, and it is presented by O.T.D. Productions, LLC. Wow. 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 I hope you guys are doing well. as you can see, a lot has developed over the course of the last few days, okay? So, if David is convicted, he could receive a maximum sentence of life in prison and or the death penalty. Now, I have to make sure I say this before we get into anything, that David maintains his innocence. His family 1000% supports them. That's what they say. Now, if you guys have been following this case since the fall of 2025, then you know it's about time. It's about time. Today is April 21st, 2026. So, before we get into some articles and some sources, I want to give you guys the 5 W's, just in case you do not know who this is, okay? Start this little slideshow for y'all. Okay, so who is involved? Currently, the suspect is 21-year-old singer David, D4VD. Now, I have never heard of this individual prior to seeing this news story. Could it be that I'm not in my 20s? Maybe. Could it be that I'm not on TikTok? Maybe. Could be either or. All right? And unfortunately, the victim is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And I'm not sure if at the time she was 14 and now, because the investigation and the arrest has occurred in 2026, if she's 15. So we'll say about 14, 15, but nonetheless, this is a teenager at the end of the day. And I understand maybe some people might say, well, he's only 21, but only 21. There's no teen at the end of 21. It's a grown man. Okay. So my question, or questions that I have, is, are there any co-conspirators? Did David act alone? Are there any witnesses? These are just questions going on through my mind as I hear this case. All right. So what happened and where did this occur? Okay. We're going on to the what and where. So David has been accused of continuous SA of a child under the age of 14. Okay. That's the first thing. He's also been charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances. Now, we're going to go and look to see exactly what special circumstances mean, and mutilation. To me, that's probably the unfortunate dismemberment. Now, where did this occur? This happened in Hollywood Hills, California, in the Los Angeles County. So, here is what the story is saying. Back in September of 2025, a Los Angeles towing company picked up what they believed to be an abandoned Tesla, registering to, who do you guess? David Anthony Burke, aka David, in the Hollywood Hills, right? So, he's on tour, he's doing whatever it is that he's doing, allegedly, right? Until a court of law and a judge decides, these are all alleged acts. It's for the court of law to prove, not for us, right? We're just here to ask questions. We're just trying to figure out. Okay, so after they picked up the abandoned Tesla, they bring the Tesla to the impound lot, right? And all of a sudden, the workers start to smell a foul odor. Almost seems like every Netflix or crime doc podcast, it seems like directly out of a movie. They smell a foul odor and they call the police. Now, when the police get there, they do their investigation. And what do they find? Or better yet, who do they eventually find? They open up the trunk of David's Tesla. Now, I had no idea, because I don't own a Tesla, that the trunk of a Tesla is in the front. They call it a frunk. Who's they? I guess Elon. I don't know. All right, they call it a frunk, and it's in the front of the car. And when they open up the frunk, they find some black bags. And inside is a badly decomposed body. Now, at this time, they do not know that it is Miss Hernandez. It's not until later on in the investigation that they figure out and connect the dots that those human remains are, in fact, Miss Hernandez. So, why did this happen? I know that's got to be the question on most of your minds. At least it's me. Why did this happen? So, the LAPD and the district attorney did a press conference yesterday. And the district attorney of Los Angeles claims that the alleged murder and dismemberment of Miss Hernandez occurred after she threatened to expose the real nature of their illicit relationship. They're saying, apparently, David invited her over to his Hollywood Hills home and she was never seen again. My bad. When did this happen? Like I said, officially, David was charged on Monday, April 20th, 2026, which was yesterday. All right. Like I said in the beginning, we first heard of this news story back in 2025, specifically September. Now, the Hernandez family had reporting Celeste missing from their hometown of Lake Elsinore, California, 1 year prior. So, her family had been looking for her up to a year prior. Now, David has 3 lawyers currently: Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peter. Is it a surprise all 3 of his lawyers are women? I don't know. I think those are questions we could pose. That maybe it's to make him seem a little less monstrous. But we're going to get into some of the things, some photos, some videos that are quite suspicious. Hope everybody's doing really well. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Boom. So, what we're going to do first is, this is the original article. This is the original article where the decomposing body was found in his Tesla. Well, one of the original articles. There were plenty. It was all over the news. And then the Epstein files came and, you know, a lot of other things. And it kind of went in the back of people's minds. Okay. But here we go. This is just to, like I said, I like to bring in some news sources in addition to my own reporting, just to give different opinions. Okay. And to kind of, what's the word? Not correspond, but I can't think of the word. Anyway, all right, so let's just read this a little bit. Los Angeles police found a decomposing human body on Monday inside a Tesla reportedly registered to up-and-coming singer David An LAPD spokesperson told The Independent that officers responded to a report of a foul odor coming from a vehicle in a tow yard around 12:20 Monday. Detectives found possible human remains and launched a death investigation. All right, this is a comment. We do not have information on the owner of the vehicle, the spokesperson told The Independent. However, ABC7 Eyewitness News reports that the 2023 Tesla is registered in Hempstead, Texas to 20-year-old David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke. Okay, so listen, this was September 10th, 2025. And it says David is in the middle of a world tour. Now, he was signed to Interscope Records. Okay? Interscope. He was signed to Interscope. More specifically, it says in his bio or in his Wikipedia, Darkroom Records. Now, this alone is just like, what kind of website is this? No offense to them, but it says where creativity develops, yet it's just a black screen and that's it, right? Let's read it. It says Darkroom Records is a forward-thinking, full-service record label with a focus on artist development, creative strategies, and fan engagement. Darkroom Records is a driving force behind the careers of leading music artists from around the world. Look at who the artists are currently, it's saying. Adam Cloby, Billie Eilish. David was on the same record label as Billie Eilish. Interesting. Bren, I don't know any of these, I'll be honest. And that's no disrespect to them. I just know Billie Eilish on here. It could just be that I'm not their audience. And that's fine. But other than that, look, this is it. Darkroom Records, you can't see nothing about here. Very mysterious. Very mysterious. Okay, but it's saying that after it's been reported, that first report about the body found in his Tesla, that he was dropped from his record label. Okay. Now, let's go to a timeline, right? Because I just took you guys to the past. I took you guys to the past to give you a little bit of an all-around story. Now, let's jump to the present. And we have a timeline, right? This is KSAT, KSAT.com, okay? Here it is from the press conference. Let's read a little bit. All right. It says, alt-pop singer David has been charged with SAing, murdering, and mutilating the body of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose decomposed remains were found in his apparently abandoned Tesla 7 months ago. Okay, now we're in the present. Los Angeles County prosecutors say the charges were filed Monday, but the allegations in the disturbing case stretch back to 2023. Wow. Just a year after the singer's first single made it onto the Billboard Hot 100, the 21-year-old's defense attorney pleaded not guilty on his behalf during an arraignment Monday afternoon. Like I said, he has 3 lawyers, and he denies doing any wrongdoing. He has pleaded not guilty. So it says here, let's look at a timeline of the investigation and the allegations and the career of David. 2022. Burke's music goes viral. Now, if any of you guys are fans, please leave a comment. I would really love to know your perspective on what's going on. I'll be honest. Do you agree? Are you shell-shocked? Do you still listen to the music? Are you separating the music from the artist? Although some of the songs I've heard, I haven't listened to it, I'll be honest. I thought I would be able to listen to some of the music to prepare for this episode, but I'll be honest, based off what seems like this individual, it's very dark energy. So for me, I personally do not want to listen to an artist who is singing dark material. And then when you connect the dots, and it's potentially speaking about this poor girl, I can't do it. I don't even want to do it for investigative purposes, I'll be honest, because I don't want to put that that aura, that vibe into my body. I'll be honest. What we could do is look up and read the lyrics, but I couldn't do it. I tried and I thought about it, but I all praise to the Most High. I couldn't do it. There seems to be a dark energy around this individual, and rebuke. All right. So in 2022, Burke's music goes viral. All right. It says Burke, a content creator who I didn't know he was a content creator first. Interesting. A content creator who began making his own music to accompany the video game montages he would post online, goes viral on TikTok for his song Romantic Homicide. And here's the thing. No judgment, but I don't want to listen to a song with homicide in it. Personal choice. The song ultimately peaks at apparently a lot of you guys want to hear a song with homicide in it. Interesting. Peaks at number 4 on Billboard's Hot Rock and Alternative Songs chart. And Burke signs with Darkroom and Interscope Records. She's a reporter. Okay. Like I said, in Off the Scroll, I find the articles and I post them, but I don't read them because I like to read them online and give you an authentic reaction. So I have not read this yet. Okay. September 7th, 2023. Okay, wait. So we're jumping. It just jumped a year from 2022. Now we're in September 7th, 2023. It says prosecutors say the abuse begins in 2023. Wow. So, So the abuse starts after he gets famous? Or was he always doing these things and it just ramped up due to his popularity? These are all questions. This is not admissions of guilt or pointing the finger. We're just asking questions here. Interesting. Okay. It says Burke allegedly begins the continuous. Okay, so this goes where the charge, one of those charges where it says continuous essay is one of them. It says Burke allegedly begins the continuous essay of Rivas Hernandez, who had just turned 13. According to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, the girl has been described by authorities as a runaway, and court documents say she lived with Burke in Los Angeles. Okay, remember when I mentioned that her family a year prior had put out missing flyers regarding her? Okay, and I believe they say, or that I read, where she lived is about 70 miles east from LA. Okay, so September 7th, 2023, the abuse begins. Now let's jump to another year, April 5th, 2024. Rivas Hernandez is reported missing. Okay, so in 2023, so it says the girl has been described by authorities as a runaway. So that means she could have been a troubled girl for a while. And it wasn't until April 5th of 2024 that her family officially reported her missing. If I'm reading this correctly, that is what I'm getting. Okay, it says Rivas Hernandez family reports the seventh grader. A seventh grader? That's sick. That is sick. That is sick. That is sick. Okay. It just made me lose my whole... Okay. A seventh grader missing from her home in Lake Elsinore. And if Is it Elsinore or Eleanor? You know I'm from New York. I don't know too many. I'm a Puerto Rican Haitian. I don't know too many Eleanors. So if I said that wrong, apologies. Okay? A town about 70 miles southeast of Los Angeles for the last time. They had reported her missing several times before. Okay, all right. So, like I said, I think that's correct. She had been a runaway for a while, back and forth, and maybe her family kind of got used to it, like, oh, she always comes back, until it got long enough where her family got nervous and put out that report. This is just my thinking. I'm thinking out loud. Okay, now jump to April 11th, 2025. Wait, he was at Coachella. Wait. All of this was going on and he was at Coachella? Mind you, if you haven't watched on the channel, I did a live video on Justin Bieber's performance and what I thought about that. Loved it. It's a good video. Go check that out after you watch this one. But again, I just watched Justin Bieber's performance and a little bit of Sabrina Carpenter. I had no idea. How could they book him? Coachella. What? I understand. Innocent until proven guilty. But what? Okay. I would love to pull up a clip to see, but in that video for Bieberchella, Coachella tried to copyright me. I had to trim out the segment. So we can't really be doing clips on here. We got to do articles and photos. All right. Burke performs at the musical festival Coachella and goes viral again. This time for face planting hard on the What? Wait, what? This time for face planting hard on the stage during a failed backflip attempt. In an interview with the Associated Press during the festival, Burke talked about using social media feedback from fans to refine his set list. The Associated Press also interviewed him? Interesting. I understand innocent until proven guilty, but me personally, as an individual, as an owner of a media company, I personally am not doing no interview with David unless we're talking about hard-hitting questions. Why was Celeste in your frunk? David? Oh, let's talk about the Tesla. To me, there's no way. And whoever interviewed him, I guess you got to do your job, right? But to me, my soul is not going to allow me to stand in front of that individual and just talk about Coachella, knowing damn well, isn't there an investigation going on about you? About a 7th grader? And y'all want to talk about music? Nah. See, this is why I do stuff like this. This is why I'm speaking up. Because are we living in a cuckoo crazy world? Is everyone totally off their rockers that here's this man who's now been arrested, who's sitting in a jail cell? Again, innocent until proven guilty. Who's sitting in a jail cell. And y'all are inviting him to Coachella? Y'all are interviewing him about face planting, trying to do a backflip, or refining set list? Your fans? Let me continue reading before I forget that I need to be on my corporate family, the Associated Press. Honestly, I feel not that I had any connection to the AP like that, but I have used them as sources. It makes me look at them different. Like, if you're going to interview him, I thought y'all were like hardcore news journalists. If you had an opportunity to interview David at Coachella, I understand we're at Coachella, right? Sure, ask him a music question like, is there any connection to any of your songs and the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez? Yeah, maybe that's an idea, right? But I get it. Everybody's too scary these days. And she probably would get fired. I said she, but I actually don't know who it is. Excuse my language. Whoever probably might get fired, right? Though they shouldn't, because Dike, and if you don't know what Dike means, it just means, how do you say that in English? They say, I put quotations like that's what that means. Like they say, or sure, that's what that means, right? And so it's like Dike, he got dropped off his record label. What music does he even have the rights to sing any of those songs? That's my take on it. What was his deal? Because remember, I always look from an entertainment lens because I'm an entertainment professional. I work in entertainment, and so I look at things from different perspectives. And so to me, it's like, what does your contract even say? Do you even have the rights to sing those songs at Coachella? Justin Bieber was singing his songs from a laptop. He sold the rights to those songs. And I'm not even sure if that was the sole reason why he did that. But I know there was a lot of talks on the internet that why was Justin using his laptop and kind of doing, some people were saying karaoke. I don't really know the reasons why, but I do know he did sell his catalog and most of those songs are included. So going back to David, it's like, if you have gotten dropped, how are you even at Coachella? Ooh, I'm getting more and more questions the more I think. How are you even at Coachella? Oh, this is 2025. Okay, all right. Yo, I was about to say, you saw me going a whole tangent? This was 2025. Okay. Woo, all right, my apologies. I was about to say, like, yo, oh, how? Okay, apologies to the AP. My bad. Okay, you see, things like this, they get me like riled up because I don't like people getting taken advantage of. I am also an individual that has been a young person that has had to deal with SA, and so I don't like things like that. So as soon as I heard Coachella and Coachella just happened, I was like, what? Okay, all right, let's move on with that. Let's move on. Okay, that makes sense. Because I just, you saw me, right? I was trying to figure it out in my mind. Like, how do you get to Coachella? You got dropped from your label. How? Okay, so we're in 2025. I have to remind myself we're in 2025. Time is a blur. Okay, so back in 2025, April 23, the charging documents filed by prosecutors in the case against Burke have few details, but they do allege he killed Rivas Hernandez on or about April 23rd. The day they say she was last heard from, prosecutors say Burke killed Rivas Hernandez because she posed a threat to his career. Okay, I did say that. Okay. Then it says April 25th, 2025, Burke released. I should probably put my glasses on. Hold on, y'all. This is probably why I couldn't see. The thing is that there's a reflection. So if I put my glasses on, there'll be a reflection in there. But clearly, from that mistake, I need them. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Now I can see. Okay. So April 25th, 2025, Burke released his debut album, Weathered. So this guy apparently did all this to this girl and then released his album. You gotta be a sicko. You gotta be a sicko to do some stuff like that. To embark on your new Hollywood fame after having unalived a little kid. Because you're an adult. He's an adult. It says Burke released his first album, Withered. In social media posts and media interviews, he describes using a reoccurring motive in his music and videos. An alter ego. They love to have alter egos, don't they? An alter ego character he calls... Oh my gosh. What is that? What the... IT4MI? I4Me? IT4Me? What the is that? What? Okay, IT4MI. After Itami. Itami. Okay, Itami, a Japanese word for pain. Okay, so he likes to put fours and stuff. Okay, that's why I was confused by the four. Itami. Okay. Oh, I just learned a new word in Japanese. Itami. Okay. He's basically like the evil version of me. Burke said in a YouTube interview with the Tape Notes podcast published May 2025. Burke's videos sometimes depict the character blindfolded in a shirt that appears covered in blood. So here's the thing. Basically, what it's saying is that he unalived Miss Hernandez and then released his debut album, Withered. And he mentioned in media interviews leading up to his debut album that he has an alter ego called Itami. And it's the evil version of himself, which he likes to depict in a shirt that appears covered in blood. Sounds like he's covering his bases by saying, I have an alter ego. Or what is it? Dissociative? Interesting. May 5th, 2025. Authorities say Rivas Hernandez remains are, mutilated. One of the felony charges against Burke is unlawful mutilation of human remains. Prosecutors say Rivas Hernandez's arms and legs were... were taken from her body on and around May 5th. Listen, Mr. Burke, I am not saying you did any of these things. I'm reading the facts. We're asking questions. Don't come for me. August 5th, 2025, Burke launches his tour. Burke's tour for the album Withered begins with a show in Del Mar, California. He also released an official Fortnite anthem, Locked and Loaded, on September 3rd. So this guy wrote the song for Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite. I never have played it in my life. But apparently he wrote a theme song for the game. The collaboration with video game creator Epic Games echoed his start in the music world when he would create and post Fortnite montages online. So, this is where it says, okay. So, he's doing his first world tour, or his first tour, in August. And then in September, her body is discovered in the Tesla frunk. So it says, one day after she would have turned 15. Okay, So she was 14 when she was taken, and they found her one day after her birthday. So she was 15. Rivas Hernandez's badly decomposed remains are discovered in body bags inside the trunk of a Tesla registered to Burke, prosecutors say. The 2023 Tesla Model Y had been towed from an upscale neighborhood in the Hollywood Hills where it had been sitting, seemingly abandoned. This is what we talked about earlier. Police searching the vehicle found a cadaver bag covered in bugs with, Rivas Hernandez. Wow. Yo. What the Police searching the vehicle found a cadaver bag covered in bugs with Rivas Hernandez, her head and torso inside. A second bag containing her arms and legs was found underneath the first, according to court. Yo, he really, or allegedly, Oh, nah. See, okay. Listen. I understand innocent until proven guilty, but how can anyone listen to a song called Romantic Homicide and the individual is currently being charged and going to trial regarding the chopping up of a teenage girl that he had an illicit relationship with, allegedly? And people want to talk about Tory Lanez? Oh my gosh. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my gosh. Okay, September 19th, 2025. Burke's remaining tour dates are canceled. Okay, so it took. This is important. This is important because. One second. The body was found on September 8th. It wasn't until almost 10 days later that his tour dates were canceled. Because I remember at one point he was still performing. He was still going to those tours. Because, they wasn't sure if it was him. And then slowly but surely things started coming out. And videos and TikToks and like little Easter eggs with him and like covering her face. And you're like, ooh, this looks bad. Yeah, this looks bad. This looks bad. Okay, it says the remaining dates of Burke's tour, which had been scheduled to wrap up November 4th in Warsaw, Poland, are canceled. The Associated Press confirmed that David was also dropped by his label Interscope Records at some point in 2025. Okay, well, that was, she said, at some point in 2025. That doesn't mean that they immediately dropped him in September. They just did it in 2025. When? I don't know, and I'm not sure if we can find that information. So it says, October 6, 2025, a funeral service is held for Ms. Hernandez. It says multiple news outlets reported that Rivas Hernandez's family held a funeral service for her on at the Queen of Heaven Cemetery and Mortuary in Rowland Heights, California. It's a little weird reading. Okay. November 24th, 2025. Police block release of coroner's report. It says, in an unusual move, police blocked the release of the coroner's report on Rivas Hernandez's death. The medical examiner's office said in a statement that it had received a court order initiated by the Los Angeles Police Department to place a security hold on the case. The order said no records or details including the case and the manner of death, could be released until further notice. Okay, yeah. So this is when we heard about this story and they started to do their investigation. A lot of people wanted to find out what the coroner report was stating, what the medical examiner found, and the police blocked it because I think they wanted to thoroughly investigate everything and not mess this up, right? Because I guess to us as the people, we think everything is clear cut and dry, right? But in a court of law, proving something is a lot more difficult than just hearsay. What we're doing is just hearsay. We're reading articles, we're coming up with conclusions, we're asking questions, but it's different than proving something in a court of law. And so I think that them blocking the release is so that they can thoroughly investigate without the media beginning to spread all the news, and now the whole internet is talking about this and things might mess up their investigation. So I think that was the reason why they did that. I understand that maybe some people wanted to give them some flack because of it, but better to make sure they cross their T's and dot their I's than accidentally missing something. Kind of like a O.J. Simpson, right? Look at all the failures they had in their investigation, which led O.J. to getting off. Now, I'm not here to say whether he did it or not. I think that his book, If I Did It, was kind of wild, pretty descriptive, but the law stated he didn't do it. So I'm not a judge. It's not for me to say he did. But, hey. So it says February 2026. It says Burke revealed as the target of a secret grand jury probe. Okay, so we're jumping from November 24th, 2025, when the police blocked the coroner report, to February of 2026. That's about what? November, December, January, February. It's 3 months. So we're jumping 3 months ahead. Now we're in 2026. It says the grand jury investigation into the case was kept under seal, as is standard in grand jury proceedings, but some documents were made public by an appeal of subpoenas by Burke's mother, father, and brother that was filed in Texas. It says the court filing said the Tesla was registered in Burke's name at the address of his subpoenaed family members, and that the target may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses against the laws of the state of California, to wit, 1 count of murder. So that was a lot going on in there. Since I haven't read this before, I have to process. This is me processing what I just read. Okay, so it was a secret grand jury. It was kept sealed. They didn't want nobody to know that this was happening. But somehow documents were made public by David's family in Texas. Okay. And now, fast forward to April 16th, 2026, Burke is arrested. Wow, so David was arrested April 16th. And I guess he was just formally charged yesterday. So it says Burke is arrested on suspicion of murder in connection with the Rivas Hernandez death and is held without bail. The Los Angeles Police Department announces the arrest on social media pages, posting photos of several officers wearing tactical gear and holding weapons approaching a home. Wow. I was watching Law and Crime earlier today, and they were mentioning how one of his neighbors, who was a witness to when the officers came to his Hollywood Hills home, that they were telling him to come out and to surrender, and that there was a lot of police. Now, fast forward to yesterday, April 20th, 2025. Burke is charged with murder. All right. Burke is formally charged with murder, lewd whoa, Lascivious? I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Lascivious? Listivus? 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 I'm not even sure how to pronounce that one. Acts with a person under 14 and mutilating a body. The charging documents also allege several factors connected to the crimes that could lead to a harsher sentence if Burke is convicted. Those circumstances include allegations that Burke was lying in wait for Rivas Hernandez. Oh, like a setup. That's what I believe. Take these off. That's what I believe that sounds like. Lying in wait, like a setup. Like a hunter waiting for its prey. A predator. Yeah, well, definitely giving predator vibes. Who entered his home and was never seen again. Remember when I mentioned that earlier? Says, who entered his home and was never seen again. That she was a witness to an investigation into the lewd and mischievous acts. Oh, mischievous. Maybe that's how you say it. And mischievous acts committed against her. And that Burke allegedly killed her for financial gain. Killed her for financial gain? I guess maybe financial gain meaning his record label, making money singing. That's the only thing I could think of. When she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate. When she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate his musical career. Burke allegedly murdered her. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office wrote in a statement. Wow. Let me take this off because the echo I hear in here is making me like stutter. Wow. Are you kidding me? We're gonna have to keep tabs on this because wow. Let me see if I could play this breaking news. Hold on. Let me see if I can play this for y'all. Let me see. I think this is... Let me see.
April 23rd.
Oh, look at that. Okay. All right. So this is the press conference. I'm going to end it off with playing this video, and hopefully we don't get copyrighted for it. All right. Let's play it.
2025, has been alleged by the complaint. Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time, went to Mr. Burke's house in the Hollywood Hills. She was never heard from again. That killer that we have now charged is David Anthony Burke.
He went viral with the hit romantic homicide. Now singer David is charged with the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nearly 1 year to the day that the teen vanished. Welcome to the Fox 11 News at 5. I'm Christine Devine.
Okay, wow. Wow. Look at his face. Did you see his face, though? He was like... what you making that face for, man? You trying to act all tough? You need to be tough. You gonna need to be tough in that jail. Cause when the homies find out what you accused of, you gonna have to be a lot tougher than that face you just made. You're gonna have to be a lot tougher than that face you just made. I mean, here's something, right? I have this.
You burned my house to the ground! My family's dead! What do I do? I'm gonna find you.
That video has 1 million likes. That video has 1 million likes. How? You want to see his eyes going back behind his head? Like, How does that have 1 million likes? To me, it's giving dog energy. Considering everything that we've just talked about, what we've learned, if you haven't heard it before. He's got songs called Romantic Homicide. He's making videos showing his pupils. What kind of is that? What? Yo. And then check this out, right? Look at the videos. This is a screen. I screen recorded his TikTok account because I wanted y'all to see. He's got videos. Hold on. He's got videos. Let me go back. Look, 20 million, 17 million, 7 million, 64 million, 42 million. Where are we at in society? Where are we at in society? Maybe I don't know, yo. Look at that. Millions. He truly was a viral sensation. I don't know why, because I'll be honest. After this came to my attention, what I'm not gonna do is I'm not curious enough to go and elevate this person by watching their social media. This is just a me personal. I can't go to there and actually click on the video. Now, for journalistic purposes and the purposes of Hidden in Plain Sight and this episode, I screen recorded. And that's about it. I clicked on the one video because it had, how many views did it have? The one where he's showing his eyes, trying to exercise the demons. 42 million, because I just wanted to see, because I saw his face on there. I'm like, how does that have 42 million? And so I clicked it. And when I clicked it, I already almost instantly regretted clicking play. Because I'm like, what kind of is this? The pupils rolling back? Like, but for y'all, I clicked it. But I'm sorry I couldn't click the rest of the videos. So I can't see, or I don't understand where the draw comes in. If any of you guys are fans or were fans, can you guys comment down below and let me know what was appealing to David for y'all? Because I'm actually really curious to find out from a perspective of somebody who was a fan. 100%. Wow. So it's been an hour. This was the first episode of Hidden in Plain Sight. There was a little bit of a few hiccups. Definitely got a little carried away, and because I didn't have my glasses, I read that it was Coachella. He was at Coachella, and I'm thinking he was at the last Coachella that just ended. And because I just created a video on it, I said, how did I miss that? How did I miss that he was at Coachella? And so it just took me on a whole nother tangent left. So I definitely apologize for that one. That was a correction. It was Coachella 2025 that David was performing, tried to do a backflip and fell flat on his ass or his face. That was 2025. But yeah, no. I had no idea that I was going to wake up and even do this today. Like, I saw the news press conference, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, because I had made a short way back when I heard about this case, and I just couldn't believe it. And I thought to myself, this is important to talk about, because you saw the screen record of his TikTok account. This young man, because he's 21, he's not a kid, but he is a young adult, has millions and millions and millions of views, which directly relates to influence. Music is one of the most influential and powerful mediums we have out here. It has the power to make people feel happy. It has the power to make people feel sad. It has the power to make people feel loved, confused, to question. That is the power of music. But it also has the power to move people in dark places. 1000%. Ever hear a song where it's full of anger and rage, and now all of a sudden you weren't angry before, but now all of a sudden you're ready to fight? Now because you heard this song, you ready to, pop on the block and hit a switch. Knowing damn well you are not about that life. But because you listen to that song and you listen to that artist who put their feelings, this is what the mic is, right? The mic records feelings in time and space forever. Once it's recorded and laid down, that is that person's essence, their soul. And so if somebody is singing about romantic homicide with all their might and talking about I shouldn't have and whatever, and it's like lo-fi sad boy, where does that put your mental at? Where does that put the mental of our children? And so that's why I wanted to talk about this. I feel like there's not too many creators that are talking about this due to the nature, and it's totally understandable. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to monetize this, but like I said, while we still have the ability to speak, we should be. Those that have the influence, those that have the voice, those that can, we should be speaking up about the things that matter and bring attention to stories like this, because at the end of the day, this was a teenage girl preyed upon by an older man. 21 or not, 20 or not, okay, a 7th grader and a 20-year-old, do the math. Because I can't even fathom the years, but I know it ain't right. That's what I know. Friendship, mentorship, any of those things where you're alone with that girl, just know. And so we'll keep tabs on this investigation. Again, David Anthony Burke, aka D4VD, aka David, has maintained his innocence. His lawyers and his family say he didn't do anything wrong. And so until a judge takes the gavel and the foreman, I think it's the foreman, I'm not sure if that's their name, but the person that reads, we the jury find that until that happens, this is all alleged and speculation. We don't know. We're just asking questions over here to try to figure out what was hidden in plain sight. Again, my name is Jazz. This is Hidden in Plain Sight. This has been an O.T.D. Productions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know, like, if there's any cases or any topics you would like me to talk about. Again, I did not realize I was going to do this. The Most High put this in my heart today, and I spent the whole day crafting all of this. I built every video, the intros, the outro. I produced the songs, all of these things. I made all of these things, and so I'm just grateful that the Most High allowed me through my injury to have energy to even create, and that I'm still in a creative mode. And so as we move forward and we continue to get better, I hope that you stick with me and we get to have an interactive experience. You guys chat in the chat box for the next time. When the next video will be, I don't know. I did do all this in one day, but this was a lot. And so I think that Hidden in Plain Sight will be more of a, maybe like a once a month or once every 2 weeks, depending on what's going on in current events. I feel like that feels good. Right? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm not sure. I know that I am tired and I'm in a lot of pain. And I'm about to ice my foot. And finish drinking my salsa water. That's what I'm going to do. This is nothing but water. Ooh. All right. Listen. Stay safe. Really, stay safe out there because times are crazy. Yeah, I need to be on your P's and Q's 24/7, 24/7, all right? I'll catch y'all.